When the days become longer in Scandinavia and the light becomes brighter, it doesn't necessarily get warmer right away. But you know it's coming. It's all just around the corner. Sally Ann was on her way to the red house on the hill, and the 5 kids who were building a spaceship in the basement and had taken her to the airport to gather parts for it, without letting her know what the parts were for. And if Raven and Troy were doing more out there than just playing music, she wouldn't be surprised. In fact, Sally Ann was now prepared for almost anything. "I'm glad to see you found your way back here," said Raven. "The children loved the cocoa you made them last time. They were talking about it the next day, trying to remake it, Sally's cocoa. That was a big deal." "I'm afraid Sally's cocoa was a bit of a lucky accident," said Sally, "but that's great." Raven explained to Sally how she couldn't completely rule out that the kids weren't going to have a few more surprises for her. "You saw the basement last time, and there's probably more." "I'm sure we'll all survive," said the nanny. "I hope so," said Raven. "I'll be on my way now. Troy says hi. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Good luck." "Thanks," said Sally. Stella and Mew came around and immediately began talking about the cocoa. "Could you make that again?" They also talked about some flowers in the garden room that was slowly coming up. And they talked about Easter and... "Oh, wait a minute," said Sally. "I've got an Easter egg for you guys. It's for all 5 of you." "Thanks," said the kids. The kids immediately began talking about how they were so busy, and that there really wasn't anyone who'd had the time to take care of the flowers in the garden room. Could you go out there and take care of the flowers? Right now?" asked the kids. "Sure," said Sally. The kids guided her carefully out there, making sure she knew the way. As soon as Sally was done taking care of the flowers, the kids had yet another assignment for her. The floor in the hall needed vacuum cleaning. The cleaning lady had already been over it, but with everybody running in and out of the house, said the kids, it had gotten very dirty again. And out of all places in the house, with so many closets and little rooms to choose from, the vacuum cleaner happened to be located in the far end of the attic. And that was, of course, not very convenient, said the kids, but it had to be stored somewhere. Sally went through the dark and strange attic, which was filled with old wooden boxes, old radio equipment, skis and snowshoes, fishing gear and harpoons. Sally thought about how one really had to be quite experienced to try to catch anything around town using a harpoon. She managed to find the vacuum cleaner, which looked as if it had recently just been thrown there, and started making her way back. Halfway, she noticed how some of the old radio equipment had now been switched on, and there was a small screen showing an old guy in a red jacket. He also had a long white beard. He seemed to have noticed that she was there. "If you push the button, we can talk," he said. The old man was kind and explained how he was responsible for a rather large children's charity organization, which primarily manufactured toys to children. The children would send in a letter and they'd describe a given toy. For many years, the manufacturing had taken place at the North Pole, but recently the production had been moved into space due to the instability of the ice. He was now traveling with a crew in deep space in a rather large spaceship named the Julekalender, looking for raw materials on other planets. And so far, things were going well. The only problem was that the Julekalender could not physically receive early incoming letters. All they had at the moment was a vague beacon from the North Pole that some had arrived, and he asked Sally to pass on the message, so that these letters could be properly scanned and sent out to the Julekalender using the equipment in the big red house. Okay, said Sally. This is a bit new, but no worries, I'll do that. Thanks, said the old man in the red jacket. Sally went to Snowflake's room and knocked on the door. Hi, you guys. Sorry to disturb you. First of all, greetings from the Julekalender. The first letters have arrived at the North Pole, and so someone has to make sure that these get scanned and sent into space, so that they can start production out there. And that's all, really. For the first time that night, the kids seemed rather unprepared. It was as if Sally's message came out of the blue. But they seemed to know exactly what she meant, and they promised to take care of it. Sally then started vacuum cleaning the hall and thought about other places where she'd been working in the past, and how this was quite different. She heard Snowflake coming down the stairs and into the living room, talking to Cookie about how things would be starting up at the Julekalender soon. "That's great," said Cookie. Stella and Mew called Raven and told her how they'd taken a chance with the nanny and decided that she should know about the Julekalender. They also told her that the letters were coming in now. Raven then called Craig, who then called Toby, and Toby made sure an aeroplane could be sent to Tuflavik, out in the North Atlantic, where the first letters would be properly stored. In the morning, Raven came back. Sally passed on the message from the old man and told her how the night had been pretty calm and quiet. "Wonderful," said Raven. "We know about the letters, and it's already been taken care of. And thank you for the way you handled it. It means a lot. We'll see you next Friday." "See you next Friday," said Sally.